Good morning, Year 4. Our lesson today for maths, we are dividing a 1 or 2 digit number by 100. So for bronze, we are using counters. For silver, we are using numbers. And for gold and platinum, we're starting to look at reasoning and problem solving questions. So our anchor task then, thinking about division. What happens when we divide a number by 100? So pause the video and have a think. What would happen to this number when we divide it by 100? Okay, so hopefully you remembered that when we divide by 100, our number is getting 100 times smaller. So our number at the moment is 4,300. And if we divided it by 100, then each number would move 2 places to the right. So our 3 would move from our 100 to our 1s, and our 4 would move from our 1000s to our 10s. So our answer would be 43 because the number has got 100 times smaller. So when dividing by 100, which direction do the numbers move? So we know that when we divide, our numbers move to the right. And because we're dividing by 100, we are moving 2 places because the numbers are getting 100 times smaller, and each column is 10 times smaller, but we want to go 100 times smaller, so we have to move twice. So our number here is 21, and we are choosing to divide that by 100, so our answer would be, so let's move this 2 places, and this 2 places, and this 2 places. So our answer would be 0 because I've got no ones, point, so my decimal point, 2 tenths and 1/100th. Okay, so looking back at our Gaetano chart, what numbers are beneath our counters? So last time we looked at this, we realised that each row was getting 10 times smaller. Okay, but this time we want to go 100 times smaller because we are looking at dividing by 100. Okay, so we would move 2 places. So if we were doing, for example, 1 divided by 100, what would our answer be? Hopefully you knew that would be 0.01, and 4 divided by 100 would be 0.04. Okay, and finally our answer here, 9 divided by 100 would be 0.09. Okay, so for bronze today, we are using our counters to divide 1 and 2 digit numbers by 100. So Essen uses counters to make a 1-digit number. To divide the number by 100, we move the counters 2 columns to the right. So let's try. Our number here is 3, and we are dividing it by 100. So we would move these counters 2 places to the right. So let's move 1 to the right. So we would draw it in here and cross it out. We'd move another to the right and cross it out. And we'd move the last one to the right, 2 places, and cross it out. So our number becomes 0.03. No ones, no tenths, and 300ths. So now we've done this, use this method to solve 6 divided by 100 and 7 divided by 100. So each time we would move these counters 2 places to the right because we are dividing by 100. So what started off as 6 becomes 0.06. And what started off as 7, what do you think it will become? It will be 0.07. Okay, so now we've done the model, it's time for the guided. So again, Leanna uses counters to make a one-digit number, and to divide this number by 100, we move the counters 2 columns to the right. So we would move our 2 counters to the right, and our answer would be 0.02 because I've got no ones, no tens, and 2 hundreds because I've moved them both into the hundreds column. So now we've used this method, have a go at these two yourself. Pause the video now. Okay then, so your answer should have been 0.04 and 0.05. So if you are starting on bronze today, your questions are on the website to independently look at dividing by 100 using counters. Silver then, here is a 2-digit number on a place value chart, so we're now dividing 2-digit numbers. When dividing by 100, we move the digits 2 places to the right. Hopefully you got that correct. We move to the right still. So 72 divided by 100. So remembering to move those counters or those numbers 2 digits to the right. So our 2 moves to our hundredths column. So we've used this. And our 7, 2 places to the right, would move to our tenths column. So our answer would be 0.72. Okay, so use this method to solve the 2 calculations underneath them. Okay, so 82 divided by 100. If we had 82 in our place value grid and we move them 2 places to the right because we are making them 100 times smaller, our answer would be 0.82. And this one, it looks a little bit confusing because it's backwards, but you're still doing the same thing, 93 divided by 100. So again, 93 divided by 100, so moving 2 places to the right, would be 0.93. So have a go at these independently, thinking about how many places we move when we divide by 100. Have a little go and then we'll go through them before you do your silver questions. Okay then, so we know that we move our digits to the right and our answer should have been 0.38, 0.49 and 0.61, and finally 0.82 and 0.93. Well done if you got those correct. So again, your silver questions are on the website to have a go at independently. Moving on to gold then. So we're looking at problem solving now. Sol makes a 2-digit number on the place value chart using 5 counters and divides it by 100. What could his calculation have been? Write down 5 possible calculations including the answer. Okay, so if I've got 5 counters and I'm making a 2-digit number, so I could have made 41, I could have made 32, I could have made 23, I could have made 14, okay? And are there any other numbers I could have made? I could have made 50 as my 5th one. Okay, so I need 5 possible calculations. So I've thought of 5 numbers that I can make with 5 counters, 5 2-digit numbers. And now I need to show the calculation each time. So if I divided each of these numbers by 100, what would the answer be? So I'd have 0.41, 0.32, 0.23, 0.14 and 0.5, or 0.50 because you've got your placeholder at the end. Okay, so if I divided each of these numbers by 100, this would be the answer. Guided question then, true or false? Fahad and Maya's statements are correct. Fahad says 64 divided by 100 is 6.4 and Maya says 0.64 is 100 times smaller than 64. So the first thing we need to do is obviously work out this calculation, okay? Then that will help us. So we know that 64 divided by 100 is 0.64. So now we've worked that out, think about whether either of these children are correct. So pause the video and have a think. Okay, so we know that Fahad is incorrect because we've got 0.64, but he said it's 6.4. So we know that he is wrong. Maya says that 0.64 is 100 times smaller than 64. Well, we started off with the number 64 and we divided it by 100, so we made it 100 times smaller, and our answer is the same as Maya. So Maya is correct. So Maya is correct because 64 divided by 100 is 0.64. Okay, so now we've had a go at the goal questions. These are for you to complete independently. And when you finish those, you also have some platinum questions to be getting on with.